So now you know how to deal with the class component and Redux. Let's come back to our mainstream now, as these days developers use hooks, which is an easier and more organized way. Let me remove this purchase class component from app.js. I'll remove this import statement and also this component. So now let's see the output. So the purchase class component is removed, and you see that we have the purchase cart and the total component. Now if I click few items, let's say orange, grapes, mango, and total is also getting displayed, the cart is also getting updated. Now if I roll over the mouse on this cart component items, you see that the mouse pointer is in the selection mode. Now we are going to implement a functionality where we will make these items clickable, and on the click of any item, we want to delete the clicked item. So for that, let's go back to the code first. I'll go to app.css and let me just say li cursor pointer. So this will change the mouse pointer. Let me just save this and come back to the cart component. Just refresh. Let me add few items here. Again, orange, grapes, and mango. Now if I roll over the mouse, you can see that we are in a position to click the item. The mouse pointer for the list item is changed. Now let's go to the cart.js where we want to implement the logic. So when an item is clicked, we want to delete that clicked item. So here in the li, I would want to have onClick event, and I'm going to have a delete handler. Now because we are implementing the deletion, I would prefer to pass the index, because the item clicked, that is the index number, will give me the reference of that item, and that will be easy for me to remove the item from the cart array. Let me import the use dispatch and also create the object. I'll say const dispatch is equal to use dispatch. Now we will create the delete handler. So here I'm going to say const delete handler, the index, and I want to dispatch. So here I'm going to say dispatch type. I'll pass the action type delete, and here in place of payload, I'll just say item index, where I'm going to pass the index. So this object will be passed to the reducer, and we will write some code in the reducer to remove the cart items. So let's go to the store.js, and I will add a condition here saying if action.type is equal to delete, then I'm going to return the original state, but when it comes to cart, I'm going to use the filter method. And if you want to know more about the filter method, you can check my YouTube channel, or I also have a detailed explanation of filter method in one of my JavaScript tutorial. So I'll just say state.cart.filter. The item will be passed. So I'll say I, index. This is the filter index. And I just want that if the index doesn't match, so I'll say index not equal to action.item index, then it should be returned. That means index which is matching will not be returned to the cart. So that will actually perform the deletion in a way. Let me just save this and let's check the output. Now let's click the item in the list. As you see that the cart is updated. You see that when I delete, let's say mango, the total doesn't change. The item is removed from the cart, but at the same time, the total is not yet updated. Now to update the total, we have various ways. What I will do is, I will simply pass the total in the payload, and I will try to subtract that value. So let me go back to the cart.js. The first thing is that I'm going to pass the product price here in the delete handler. We already have the product. So I'll say product.price. So this price is passed here, and that I'm going to receive in this delete handler. Here also I'll say price. Then instead of item index, let me just say payload, and I'm going to pass the object, that is index and price together. Let me just save this and come back to store.js. Now here in the filter, what I will do, I will simply write action.payload.index, and here I'll also update the total. So I'll say total colon whatever the total is, that is state.total minus action.payload.price. Now let me just save and let's see the output. Let me add few items here. I'll say banana, orange, grapes. Now let me remove orange from this, even banana. You see that the total is updating. So this is just an additional functionality we have added to the cart. We are removing or deleting item. In the next session, we are going to add one more component and we will try another concept, another important concept called dividing the reducer in more logical pieces and then combining the reducers. Though nowadays combined reducer is an older approach, people use slices with the help of Redux toolkit. But as I have been mentioning that you need to know the older syntax as well. So we'll check the combined reducer in next 2 sessions.